Welcome back to DSR. Diving back into Crooked Moon, we're going to do the Castigation Paladin or Oath of Castigation subclass for the Paladin. And right off, this art is awesome. I'm excited about it. And the thing I love most about it is that it deviates from your standard medieval Holy Crusade looking Paladin, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that is super overdone. We see it all the time. That is the primary trope for Paladins. They also tend to be players tend to like think that I don't know for whatever reason that kind of art and that kind of imagery drives players to act like their paladin or think their paladin should be self-righteous. Not always, but frankly, way too often. Okay, do not make your paladin self-righteous. Okay, that is going to irritate the other players. And this is a game about fun, not trying to live out some sort of way overdone trope. You're not an actor in a movie. You're playing a game with people to have fun. Okay, so it's never good to act self-righteous no matter what your character's identity is. That's okay. All right, but Oath of Castigation Paladin. Seek out and burn wickedness to ash. Evil and wickedness are widespread and long-lived, but not infinite. Paladins who swear the Oath of Castigation root out evil to burn it away utterly, giving light to all that is innocent and good. Whether bound by the laws of mortals, their deity, or their own personal code, they relentlessly hunt down evil where it thrives. Paladins of this oath know evil cannot hide in any festering place once it burns. These paladins share the following tenets: burn away all doubt in pursuit of duty, purge the wicked and corrupt, spare the innocent, sin is forgiven through suffering equal to the pain it inflicted. All right. Hopefully this isn't like an oath of vengeance, just like redo, but is a little more different than that. And it also seems like we might have a big fire theme here. So let's see what we get. Now, Crooked Moon has yet to disappoint on a subclass. So hopefully, my fingers crossed. I think this is going to be, I hope it's going to be good. Level 3, Castigate. As a magic action, you can expend one use of your channel divinity to clap those who you would bring to justice in fiery shackles. All right, clap them in irons. Nice. Choose a number of creatures up to your charisma modifier, minimum of 1. You can see within 30 feet of yourself. Each creature must succeed on a strength saving throw or be wrapped in fiery shackles and have its speed reduced to 0. As a bonus action, you can cause the shackles to flare. Each creature bound by the shackles take 2d6 fire damage. A shackled creature repeats the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. After 1 minute, it succeeds automatically. Strangely, they didn't just say the duration is 1 minute. And a number of creatures. And this is expend your channel divinity. So you can do this multiple times in one combat. It doesn't take your concentration. There's nothing that says it ends early if you use it again. So you could keep doing it and just lock down every creature in combat. Their movement is now 0. It doesn't say they're restrained. It just says their movement is 0, and then you can do this damage. So lock them all down so now they can't move. They can still try to do range attacks or attack melee if any of your allies, you or your allies walk up to them. But as your bonus action, you can just flare it, 2d6 fire damage to all of them. But you would burn, you only have two channel divinities to start off with, and you get one back as a short rest, and then you get a third and a fourth at higher levels. That's pretty powerful, I think. I don't know if it's intentional that you could use multiple of these at the same time. It probably should include text that says if you use this again, it ends early. Probably. All right, level 3, Insight. As a magic action, you can expend one use of your channel divinity to better seek out wickedness and corruptions. We have a second use for our channel divinity. For the next 10 minutes, you have advantage on intelligence, investigation, and wisdom insight checks. Okay. During that time, you can take a bonus action to choose a creature you can see within 10 feet of yourself. The target must succeed on a charisma saving throw or have the frightened condition for 1 minute. While the target is frightened in this way, it can't speak a deliberate lie. The condition ends early if the target takes damage or if you use this bonus action again. See there, they had the text that says if you use this again, it ends early. Maybe they intended for this one to be infinite use as long as you have channel divinities. Okay, I like that it has an out of combat use. So advantage on your intelligence, investigation, wisdom, insight checks. You can interrogate people, and you can be doing this for 10 minutes. Right? This buffs you for 10 minutes. So this is a decent alternate use. It's not quite as strong in combat. I mean, you still giving people frightened condition in combat is not bad. I think it's slightly less powerful than Castigate in combat. Maybe a little more than slightly. It really depends. If the enemies have like effective ranged attacks and long range spell attacks, then Castigate's not going to hurt them that bad. And then maybe you want to go Insight. And vice versa if the combat switches. But you got two great options here, in addition to your default option for Paladin, which is Divine Sense, which is pretty mild. All right, then we got our Oath of Castigation spells. So when we reach level 3, we're going to have Divine Favor and Inflict Wounds prepared. We have access to both of those already as a Paladin. Inflict Wounds, not very good. I get the idea of like inflicting harm and damage, but Inflict Wounds is a terrible spell for a martial half-caster, which we are as a Paladin. So I wish they didn't so cavalierly choose theme over mechanics. Like pick a spell that works well with the mechanics that you're putting this thing on, or at least works okay. It doesn't have to be like perfect synergy, but at least let it work okay. On the other hand, Divine Favor is an excellent spell, even though it's already on the Paladin spell list. Heck yeah, you want that thing prepared, so great. Then we have Chain of Conviction, which is a new spell, so let's go over that thing. Here it is. Chain of Conviction, second level spell, bonus action to cast 30-foot range, somatic component only, which means Paladins don't stealth very often, but if somehow you succeed at stealthing and you cast this, it is not going to break your hidden state. Last 1 minute, no concentration. You hurl a spectral barbed chain at the creature you can see within range. The target makes a strength saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 2d6 force damage. It is pulled 30 feet towards you, and it is bound by the chain. While bound by the chain, the creature is tethered to you and can't move or teleport to a space more than 30 feet from you. You have advantage on attack rolls made against the creature. On a successful save, the target takes half as much damage only. The bound target repeats the save at the end of each of its turns. End the spell on itself on a success. If you're ever more than 30 feet away from the target, the spell ends. And you can upcast it. Damage increases by 1d6 for every spell slot level above second. 2d6 force damage. No concentration. Okay, this is what Compelled Duel wishes it was. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't cause the soft taunt feature, but in every other way, this is superior to Compelled Duel. And Compelled Duel is a bit of a wreck as it's written. So, yeah, this is great. I like it. Works well on a Paladin. And it's a bonus action. So yeah, that's a good spell. It's a good spell. I don't think it's overpowered, but it is a good spell for Paladins. Then we have Hold Person on our spell list, Counter Spell, which is not normally on a Paladin's spell list, so that's a decent one to have. Speak with Dead, which is an okay spell. People who are creative at using knowledge and asking questions and interrogating things are going to get way more use out of Speak with Dead. The average player, of which I include myself, doesn't get a lot of mileage out of Speak with Dead. Then we have Consuming Pyre, another new spell, so let's bring that up. Here we go. 4th level spell. Action to cast 90-foot range. It's a 1 minute concentration, and they get a dex save. So you cause a creature that you can see within range to burst into consuming, relentless flames. The target must succeed on a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 2d8 fire damage and 2d8 necrotic damage or radiant. Choose when you cast a spell. So it's always fire, and you choose either necrotic or radiant. And the radiant flames linger. On a successful save, it takes half as much damage only. While the flames linger, the creature takes the damage again at the start of each of its turns. The target or another creature within reach of the target can take an action to allow the target to repeat the saving throw, ending the spell on a success. A creature killed by the damage from the spell is reduced to ash along with any non-magical equipment it is wearing or carrying. That's interesting. Usually if they take an action, it automatically succeeds, and then they get a free save at the end of their turn. So this is tougher than most things. Right? They use an action or an ally uses an action, and then they just get a resave. There's no automatic resave. It's a full action. It takes your concentration, but they're going to be taking 4d8 damage every round. Now they don't have any other, no other control conditions. It's not like they're restrained or anything like that. They just take damage. Is that worth it on a Paladin? This is your 4th level spell slot, which means you can't even cast it till your 13th level. Is 48 damage per round, and you can't upcast this. So is 48 damage per round worth your action and your concentration on a Paladin? Probably not. Probably not. Yeah, if this was a bonus action, I would say maybe. If it was a bonus action and no concentration, I would say definitely. But as it is, this is probably not worth it. It's going to be very niche for when it would make sense for you to use this. Maybe like you just can't reach them, and so you can't get in range for even like throwing javelins, which you can smite with javelins. So, javelins have a range of 30 for normal range and 120 for long range. I don't know. It's going to be a pretty edge case where you want to use this. Like maybe something's trying to run away, and you're just like, fine, hit them with this, and then they're going to take damage for the next minute. So there's going to be 40 D8, 40 D8, because they're going to take the 4 D8 every round for 1 minute. And actually, it's going to be 11 instances of that damage because they take 48 when you cast it, and then 48 more at the start of each of their turns. So it's going to be 11 instances over that 1 minute. So 44 D8 damage. Yeah, maybe they just kill as they try to run away, and you're like, ha. And then you go on and kill the rest of the monsters, and that one who tried to run away just like burns to ash, and you like follow. You find its like trail of like ash, ashy footprints that it left behind, and then you pick up the magical equipment left over. I guess it makes it easy to loot, right? Because all the non-magical equipment burned away. So hopefully they don't have plate armor on them. Then we have Locate Creature, which is an okay spell. Flame Strike, which also okay. It's decent on a full caster because it upcasts at 2d6, which means it upcasts faster than Fireball, although it starts 2 levels later, so it doesn't catch up for till I don't know, level 8 maybe 7, 8. I'd have to redo the math. On a half caster like a Paladin, Flame Strike not great, not good. Paladins and half casters should not be trying to use their highest level spell slot to do a mid-grade AOE, right? Flame Strike's going to do 8d6, 8d6 damage, half fire, half radiant, and you're level 17. Okay, that's what, 28 points of damage. That's going to be nothing, and you just blew your highest level spell slot, which you could have used. Usually, I don't know, I haven't seen this one yet. Usually, you can use your 5th level spell slots to restore your capstone, feature for Paladin, which is a far better use for your 5th level spell slot than casting a spell that's gonna. Most of the monsters at this level are gonna be like, I barely noticed that. Thanks. And Hold Monster, it's basically the same thing. If you cast Hold Monster when you are 9th level, it's not great. But if you're a full caster and you can start upcasting it when you're 11th level and 13th level to 6th and 7th level spell slots, then Hold Monster becomes, decent. Because you have a decent chance of locking some more than one creature down and not wasting your spell slot and your turn. But again, with a half caster, and that's your highest level spell slot, and it's only one target, which means you have a decent chance of just wasting your turn because it succeeds on the saving throw. Not worth it. Not worth it on a half caster. So what do we? About half of that spell list is good for a Paladin, and about half of it is not very good for a Paladin. Level 7, Kindling Aura. You and your allies within the aura of protection ignore resistance to fire and radiant damage. Oh, interesting. An offensive aura for the Paladins. And when an affected creature hits with a weapon attack, it can deal fire damage instead of the weapon's normal damage type. Most of the time, that's not going to matter. Once in a while, that'll be good. In addition, you and affected creatures in the aura can add your charisma modifier to intelligence, investigation, and wisdom insight checks. You and affected creatures. Okay, so if we turn on our channel divinity, we're going to add our charisma modifier, probably 3 at this point, maybe 4. Yeah, our modifier is going to be 3 or maybe 4 at this point. So we're going to add 3 or 4 plus have advantage on our investigation and insight checks. Okay, so and you already add. I mean, you don't already add, so you're going to be pretty good with the face and a pretty good investigator as a paladin, yeah, which is not something paladins are normally good at. That's pretty cool. Okay. If you have like a rogue in the party, that's going to be super strong, or a wizard in the party, or a cleric in the party who are already really good at insight and investigation checks. I mean, the rogues and wizards can be quite good at investigation checks. The clerics and druids can be quite good at insight checks. And you're going to add your charisma modifier to their checks. That's pretty strong. Yeah. Okay. Pretty strong out of combat functionality there. Level 15, Fervent Inquisitor. Whenever a creature damages you or one of your allies within 30 feet of you that you can see, you can take a reaction to gain advantage on your next attack roll against the creature that dealt the damage. That's kind of mid. Probably not worth your reaction because you probably have weaponized your reaction with something like Sentinel or Zentarum Tactics so that you can make another attack. Additionally, whenever you deal fire or radiant damage to a bloodied creature, you become aware of any lies that creature has willingly and knowingly spoken to you in the past 24 hours. Okay, kind of a niche out of combat feature there. And so overall, this is kind of weak at level 15, but you're not going to care because you're pretty strong overall all the way up to this point. It might be a little disappointing, right? It's going to be a feel bad that you worked all this way up to level 15 and didn't feel like you got a lot. But I mean, you're so strong overall, you're not going to be fall behind it in comparison to the rest of the party. All right, level 20. This is our capstone, Fire and Brimstone. As a bonus action, you embody Cleansing Flame and gain the benefits below for 10 minutes or until you end them. No action required. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. You can also restore use of it by expending a 5th level spell slot. No action required. There you go. This, when you're level 20, is what you spend your 5th level spell slots on. Do not spend your 5th level spell slots on Flame Strike and Hold Monster. That is going to be a waste of your action and your spell slot. Okay, during this time we have these benefits. Blazing Ardor, you gain immunity to fire damage. Nice. There's not a lot of ways to gain immunity to any damage type. Relentless Judgment, Lashes of Divine Flame increase your reach by 10 feet and your melee attacks ignore half and 3/4 cover. Okay, that's cool. Punish the Wicked, when you hit a creature with an opportunity attack action. Okay, strange construction there. Or when a hostile creature ends its turn within your reach, it must succeed on a charisma saving throw or have the prone condition, and its speed is reduced to 0 until the start of your next turn. Prone and the speed reduced to 0. So you like knock it down and it's stuck on the ground. Okay. The problem, I mean, that's good. Here's the problem though. It's level 20. So along the way, there's a good chance you chose Sentinel just to weaponize your reaction, and it's also good for tanking. So you punish people who hit your allies, which is something that Paladins, tanking something that Paladins are good at leaning into. So you took Sentinel along the way, and now you have this and Sentinel, both of which require your reaction, and both of which have a level of overlap, right? Both of them reduce their movement speed to 0. Now, Sentinel only reduces their movement speed to 0 for their turn, not until the start of its next turn, and it doesn't knock them prone, but Sentinel also doesn't have a saving throw, right? You just have to hit with the attack. When you hit a creature with an opportunity attack action. Okay, actually, you know what? This is better than I was thinking, because this doesn't say it uses your reaction to do it. It's just you have to make an opportunity attack, which Sentinel does. So this would add on to Sentinel. Now, the speed reduction to 0 won't stack, but the duration is different, right? This is a much longer duration than what Sentinel gives you. So this is okay. All right, I take it all back. This is not bad. For if you've already taken Sentinel, you would probably still want to use this with Sentinel. Additionally, because Sentinel is going to give you more opportunities to make that opportunity attack, right? So you would definitely want to have Sentinel and or Zentarum Tactics with this. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. This is a very offensive Paladin. So, but in a very different way than Vengeance Paladin. So they did it. They pulled it off. I was worried they were going to just be like a kind of a copy, redo, remix of the Vengeance Paladin, but they did a great job. This is going to play, I think, quite differently than a Vengeance Paladin, bringing different things to the party and having different strengths. So I like it. This thing's cool. Then Wicked Nemesis. The Wicked Nemesis table offers examples of malefactors, villains, and other evil beings that you have rooted out and purged in the past, or perhaps you're still hunting. Facing these nemesis may have put you on the path of purging wickedness wherever it lurks. So this is kind of inspiration for the identity of why you're a paladin of Oath of Castigation. A rotting vampire noble who spreads a deadly plague through the command of countless vermin, a brutal contract killer who sells their service to various cults and shadowy organizations, a charismatic cult leader who lords over a remote island, making seasonal sacrifices to mortals to ensure a bountiful harvest each year, an immensely intelligent flesh golem that killed its creator to pursue its own sinister work with strange science and gruesome experiments, Frankenstein's monster, a bitterly envious hag of the woods who corrupts the youth of small villages and manipulates them to commit horrific atrocities, a proud and vain heretic who gathers zealous followers after a bloody schism to initiate a brutal crusade in the name of their twisted beliefs. Okay. A once renowned hunter now cursed with lycanthropy, who has gone on bloody rampages. A relentless necromancer who scours ancient ruins for forbidden magic to free their otherworldly master from an eldritch prison. A strange amphibious creature that emerges from the depths to kidnap innocents and drag them below to the water's surface for unknown purposes. A brilliant doctor who has perfected a serum that transforms them into a hulking brute to commit a string of murders throughout a city. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. A bloodthirsty revenant who was once a dark knight and now musters other undead riders to bring about death and decay. A tortured artist bearing a mask of comedy and tragedy who strives for their masterpieces through the mutilation of their victims' corpses. Wow, these are all really good inspirations, and like Crooked Moon does an excellent job of both inspiring with the art and with these little bits of things, these tables. I love that they do this. It's so helpful for people like me who are not as creative with the role play and storytelling. So I love this stuff. All right, let's rank this thing. I'm going to give it an A overall. I think this is solid, and they did a good job with it. Um, and I think the tricky thing with paladins is that the paladin base class is so strong. It's hard. It's just as easy to overdo it with paladins as it is to underdo it. Whereas the ranger, it's like they're not nearly as strong of a base class. I don't think ranger's bad. I love it. It's just not nearly as strong as a paladin, and so it's too easy to underdo it on ranger subclasses. Anyway, so they balanced it well. I think this thing is good, and it's still a support class, but it's an offensive support class, which is interesting. You don't often see that. So it's an A overall, and an A to dip. Yeah, you're going to get some interesting features if you just go 3 levels. An A as a tank, A as a frontliner, A as a skirmisher. It's got some interesting skirmisher features. B is ranged. It's got some things that enhance range damage dealing, but there's fewer of them, and a lot of them have things like it only works within 30 feet, stuff like that. C as a blaster. And I actually think you get more blasting value out of the Castigate feature for your Channel Divinity than you get out of like Flame Strike, both because Castigate comes online at level 3, Flame Strike doesn't come on until level 17, and it's still a bad use, like I've said so many times, a bad use of your action and your spell slot. B is a controller, though. They've got a lot of interesting control features. Just with their Channel Divinity, they could be locking a bunch of creatures in place and then causing one of them to be frightened. So they're solid there. A for support. Their aura, is great. In that it adds damage, or sorry, causes all of your allies to ignore creatures' resistance to fire and radiant damage, which is cool. And then they're going to get a C for survival. That's mostly this feature right here. And this is like an S tier feature, but since it comes online only at level 20, I'm going to average that out and say over the entire career of this paladin, it's a C because they don't get a lot of other survival features. Not that paladins need those. And then an A for knowledge. They get these features that boost both their own investigation and insight checks and the whole party's investigation and insight checks. Now, this one only applies to the paladin, but the paladin probably needed these boosts more than the rest of the party because the paladin's probably worse at these two things than the rest of the party. But this is strong. I mean, and this is, yeah, anyway, so they're good. It's an A for knowledge. All right, here it is in context of the whole Google Sheet, or at least this tab that has where I've ranked all of the partner classes and subclasses. This is the Castigation Paladin right here, solid A. So, yep, the Crooked Moon has done it again, another A subclass, which is great. They've got a few S's, or a couple of S's, a couple of S1s, but nothing less than an A. So they're doing a good job. I think this is, and between just these solid mechanics and this excellent art and lore and flavor, I think this is a great book to get if you haven't gotten this one. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching. If you don't have a D&D in your life, you can check the video description, find a link to join my Discord, or find me on Start Playing Games if you want to play D&D. Also, there's a link to my Google Drive that has this Google Sheet that you just saw in it. You don't have to do anything to access. Just click the link and then you can use it. It's a community resource I've created. If you are the kind of person who just has natural ability to just compare things and rank them and analyze things, and you have thoughts on maybe how I got some of these things wrong or these things need to be adjusted, I would love your help. Make some comments on the video and tell me which things you should think should be changed. If you want to talk about more things than just this Castigation subclass paladin, join my Discord. I've got a channel in the Discord dedicated to helping me rate these things, and the more people that get involved in refining the ratings, the better. Okay, this is a community resource. I want it to be useful and helpful for people. I don't care if I am right, and I definitely could use some help. So yeah, remember that D&D is a game, and the only point of it is have fun with your friends. So please be cool when you play D&D. All right? Okay, catch you next time.